I'm going to tell you how to perform an experiment that could change your life forever. But first, a warning. I don't want any trouble for sharing this. If anyone asks, I'll deny everything. You're on your own now. First, find a mirror in a high traffic location. It must be a mirror that many people pass by every single day. That detail is non-negotiable. If the mirror hasn't absorbed enough energy, none of this will work. Trust me, a hotel room bathroom is ideal. It's worth the trouble to get access to one. Bring 2 cigarettes with you. If possible, choose a strong brand. From what I've seen, the figure you're about to meet seems to prefer them that way. Once inside the room, turn off all the lights and lock yourself in the bathroom. Stay in complete darkness. Light one of the cigarettes and, using only the dim glow of the burning tobacco, stare into the mirror. Start smoking, but never look away from your reflection. Not for a second. No matter what happens, do not break eye contact. If you do, everything you've done will have been for nothing. Around halfway through the cigarette, the room will begin to fill with smoke. Your eyes will burn. You'll probably start to tear up. Still, and I can't stress this enough, keep staring at yourself in the mirror. If you've done everything correctly, your reflection will begin to darken. It'll become blurry, shadowy, until it turns pitch black. The smoke will grow thicker, and before you even realize it, you'll sense a presence, a figure sitting in the bathtub just a few feet away from you. Don't panic, and whatever you do, don't run. The figure will ask you for a cigarette. That's why you brought 2. Hand it over. You don't need to light it. That's not your problem. In fact, by the time you even think about it, they'll already be smoking. At that moment, you can ask anything at all. And not only will they answer, they'll tell you the truth. Always. This is your chance to get the answers you've always wanted. Just don't take too long. Have your questions ready in advance. Why? Because you need to keep track of how much of the cigarette the figure has smoked. If they finish it, they'll attack you. And it won't matter who you are, how strong you are, or what you try to do. You will not survive. As the cigarette nears its end, you'll notice the figure becoming more solid, more real, less like smoke and more like flesh. That's your cue. Reach forward and take its eyes. Don't hesitate. It won't be fully corporeal yet. So yes, you can do it, and you must. You absolutely cannot let them finish that cigarette. That would be a fatal, stupid mistake. Don't be that idiot. You have to be fully committed. Rip out the eyes. The moment you do, the figure will start to scream and curse you, in a language that is your own, but twisted in ways you've never imagined. And the worst part? Your hands will start to burn. The pain will be unbearable. But whatever happens, do not open your fists, because if you do, even after taking the eyes, they'll still be able to see through them, and they'll find you. With your fists clenched tight and their eyes inside them, leave the bathroom. Turn on every light in the hotel room. Make sure there are no mirrors anywhere. If you open your hands too early, the lights will burst, and the figure will come for you. You must keep your hands closed until 3 a.m., or preferably a little later. I suggest waiting a bit longer just to be safe. Only then, you can open your hands. You'll find 4 seared marks burned into your palms. Don't worry, they'll heal. But from that moment on, you can never again be in the dark in a place with a mirror, because if you are, the figure will find you, watching you through your palms. From that day forward, you'll have nightmares every time you sleep, for the rest of your life, and your hands will always be cold. It won't matter if it's summer or if you're in the warmest place on earth. They'll always feel like ice. In exchange, you'll be able to make a few of your wishes come true, so long as they're not too grand. Don't get greedy, but there's a good chance that the things you truly desire will, in fact, become real. You'll also be able to see, and therefore anticipate, disasters, catastrophes, genocides, assassinations, only terrible things, never anything good. despite everything. I'd say that's a small price to pay for absolute knowledge. You can find all kinds of strange things on the internet, disturbing things, and even illegal ones. Dark corners where the worst of humanity hides. And if you let your imagination run a little wild, you'll know exactly what I mean. Sick people, twisted minds. But what I'm going to tell you today is something different. It's about a very peculiar website, one that, according to urban legend, can only be accessed at midnight. To most, that might just sound like a creepy little gimmick, but people who are into this sort of thing know those systems are real. There are horror games out there that only let you in at night. They use a small program that checks your computer's system clock and blocks access if it's daytime. But this website, called Blind Maiden, supposedly hosted somewhere in the Netherlands, with a strange, almost untraceable URL, had one detail that made it especially disturbing. You couldn't trick it. Changing your computer's clock didn't work. It had to be nighttime. Real nighttime. Somehow, the site could tell. There was no way to fake it. From this point on, things get blurry. Nothing is truly confirmed. But the legend says that once you got in, the first thing you'd see was a black screen with white text that read, "Make sure you're home alone." It may sound trivial, but the experience wouldn't begin unless that condition was met. They say that if someone else was in the house, nothing would happen. It was like the link kept looping back on itself, over and over. The second requirement was that you had to turn on your webcam. It had to be pointed at your face. If you didn't, the page wouldn't respond. It just sat there, still and silent, until it detected your face. Once both conditions were met, you were taken to a second screen, even simpler. A new message appeared. Are you sure you want to continue? This is your final warning. There was something about that message, something off. It made even the bravest users uneasy, especially when they noticed a tiny window appear in the upper left corner of the screen, showing their own face. The website was using their webcam, broadcasting their image in real time. But to who? Some people quit then and there. Others, call them reckless, decided to keep going. They accepted the terms. And what happened next was truly terrifying. It's hard to even talk about. Your face would remain on screen, tucked away in a small corner. But now, something else appeared in the center. The most grotesque, repulsive face imaginable. A dead woman. Her eyes were sewn shut. Her lips, too. Her nose looked like it had been sliced off and sealed with a scar. Her hair was black and oily. Her skin had the pallor of a rotting corpse. People say that just looking at her made them gag. Some threw up. But the most disturbing part? It wasn't a photo. You knew it wasn't, because you could see her walk. It wasn't an animation. It looked like a live broadcast, a real moving figure. And just when you hoped it was all part of some twisted interactive site with a hired actress, you noticed where she was. The walls, the hallway, the furniture. It was your home. She was inside your house, and she was walking slowly, deliberately toward your room. According to the legend, no one knows what happened to those who went through with it. There are no records, no eyewitnesses, only rumors, and they all say the same thing. The blind maiden tore their eyes out and left them to die. They say teamwork can take you further, whether it's school projects, college assignments, or even just having fun. Two heads are better than one. That was the case with two brothers. One was 15, the other just 12. They were close, really close, the kind of bond you only see in movies. Unfortunately, they shared the wrong hobby. They were obsessed with games no child should ever touch. The glass game, Ouija boards, Bloody Mary. They even tried the cigarette game once, just to see what would happen. But no matter what they did, whether summoning a spirit or even a demon, nothing ever worked. And that lack of results, it frustrated them to no end. The younger one, as you might expect, was more immature and much more curious. While his older brother was starting to take an interest in girls and other typical teenage stuff, slowly drifting away from their little rituals, the younger one refused to let go. He didn't need his brother to join in anymore, just to be there. He wasn't ready to give up. He was a smart kid, knew his way around a computer better than most adults. He loved horror stories and would spend hours online searching for new rituals and games to try, always with his brother by his side. Until the day he decided to do it alone. The day he made the mistake of typing into Google, how to make a spirit angry. He wrote it just like that, word for word, until he stumbled upon a site. Dark, obscure, with an outdated, cryptic layout, something that looked like it belonged to the early 2000s. But the content? Unsettlingly compelling. It described an experiment. No author, no disclaimer, no warning. Place a large mirror in front of your bed. Lie down and pretend to be asleep. Convince your reflection that you're truly asleep. Fake it so well that you fool it. And the moment you feel like you've succeeded, when your reflection has taken the bait, raise your right hand and form the number 4 with your fingers. If you've done it correctly, your reflection will have been tricked. It won't show a 4, it'll show something else. A 1, a 2, a 3. But beware, the ritual warned. From that moment on, never ever turn your back to your reflection again. When the older brother came home, he found his parents in a panic. With good reason, his little brother had vanished. According to them, he hadn't asked to go out. No plans with friends, no movies, nothing on his schedule. He had simply disappeared. By 3 in the morning, they were still wide awake, sleepless, terrified. They felt it in their bones. Something terrible had happened. They thought maybe it was a kidnapping. But the older brother, he knew better. He felt it, deep in his chest. This wasn't a kidnapping. It was something else. Something darker, and deep down, he already knew what it was. He didn't know exactly what ritual his brother had tried, but he was certain that was the reason he was gone. With a sick feeling in his stomach, he rushed to the computer, opened the browser history. Terror exploded. He tore through the room, checked under the bed, inside the closet, and that's when he noticed it. The mirror was missing. Honestly, you might have been better off not knowing. But hey, you're here now, so you kind of asked for it, didn't you? You've probably felt it before. That sudden creeping discomfort when someone's staring at you. Doesn't matter if it's from the front, the side, or even from behind. You feel it. It's sharp, almost acidic, sometimes even unsettling. And it's real. That invisible energy radiating from a fixed stare isn't unique to humans. Animals do it too. A cat that locks eyes with you for minutes without blinking. A dog that follows your every move while everyone else pretends it's not even there. Or a caged animal at the zoo surrounded by a crowd, yet it chooses you. Only you. And it won't stop watching. Now here's the disturbing part. It's been observed that some of the times you wake up in the middle of the night for no clear reason, it's not a coincidence. It's because someone or something was watching you. Size doesn't matter, and neither does what it actually is. If you didn't wake up because you were thirsty, too hot, had to pee, or heard a sound, but your eyes just opened for a few seconds in the dead of night, and then you went right back to sleep like nothing happened, it's because you felt it. Maybe not the most comforting thought to go to bed with tonight, but next time you wake up for no reason, in the middle of the night, well, now you know.